All right, so it's my pleasure to be here to welcome you to this symposium on my behalf and on Vitaly Shmatikov's behalf. We were the program co-chairs for this year. I'm going to just spend a few minutes telling you about how we came up with this year's program. So the reviewing process, we had 402 papers submitted to the conference, which is the largest number ever so far. Round zero, the reviewing process consisted of mostly making sure that all the papers met the requirements laid out in the call for papers, and that made us, after round zero, we had thrown out a couple of papers. 386 papers entered round one, so 386 papers were actually part of the real review process. In the first round of reviewing, each paper got 2 reviews. So the goal of the first round of reviewing was to identify the papers that were actually reasonable, likely candidates to be included in the final program so that we could focus the efforts of the program committee on those. So this cut down the number of papers that we were focusing on to about half. 195 entered round 2. In round 2, each paper got a few more reviews. And at the end of round 2, we released the reviews to the authors, and the authors had a chance to respond to reviews, to point out factual errors and so on. And so I know often we think as authors, and I have certainly thought this myself, that there's very little, perhaps that there's very little that actually happens as a result of author responses. But this year I can say that as a result of author responses, over 20 papers that were initially set aside as probably not being realistic candidates for acceptance were revisited after the responses and got more reviews. So these 216 papers that were now still in play went on to round 3, received more reviews, and these round 3 culminated in about 10 days of online discussion. Right after the online discussion, we had a 1.5-day in-person PC meeting in Pittsburgh. And that PC meeting, we again focused discussion on, we accepted without discussion some small number of papers that had uniformly excellent reviews, and then we focused the remainder of the discussion on the papers on which reviews were more mixed. And through that discussion, we went through 94 papers to come up with the program of 55 that you will see over the next 3 days. So that gives us an acceptance rate of 13.7%. Here's how this compares to last year's. We had about 20% more papers submitted, and we managed to accept about 25% more papers than last year. So last year the acceptance rate was just over 13%. It's a tiny bit higher, but still extremely competitive. This year. Just to give you a sense for the amount of work that went into this, the program committee produced over 1,200 reviews, which is more than 20 reviews per person. In the online discussion phase, over 1,900 comments were entered into the system, which is more than 30 comments per PC member. Okay, a couple of more notes about the program. Sean spoke about most of these. I just want to point out 2 more things, which is the award session and the short talks. So tomorrow morning at 8:30, we'll start out with the award session. We'll recognize papers that really stood out from all the others. We have 4 distinguished paper awards that we're going to give out. Also, new this year, we are recognizing the reviewers who really went above and beyond and really helped make this program what it is. So we'll have several reviewing awards that we will also give out. The other program note is the short talks. So tomorrow at 5 p.m. there's a short talk session. And Deepak Garg organized all of this. And so we have him to thank for that. Last note before I hand this over to the session chair for the first session is many thanks are in order. Sean thanked a lot of the members of the organizing committee, but I want to thank the groups that were involved. The authors, not just of the accepted papers, but all the authors who sent really great papers to Oakland that allowed us to pick this really wonderful program. The people who will be presenting over the next couple of days, and of course, part of what makes this conference great is all the excellent discussions that happen between the audience and the authors. So you, the audience, are really important here too. I'd like to thank the program committee, all the people who were external reviewers. As one of the pleasures of being a PC co-chair is to see both the huge amount of work that goes into this reviewing process and also sort of just all the insightful things that get written. And it's something that after seeing it, it makes me proud to be part of this community. And finally, the organizing committee did a really tremendous job. One of the reasons that the program chairs can do their job successfully is because so many other details related to running the conference just get taken care of pretty much by magic through the hard work of a whole bunch of people. And I want to recognize by name the two people with whom I worked most closely, Sean and Vitali. They were both incredible. They both have incredible attention to detail. They both put in tremendous amount of work, and there's no way this conference could be anywhere near as good as I hope it will be without their efforts. So please, let's thank all of these. And with that, enjoy the conference. I will turn it over to Farinas, who is the